everyone, welcome back to Miss Krumholz's art class. So today we are continuing with our mandala color wheels. So your steps from last class were to use my template and trace it, and I had started to use my colored pencils here, and we are only focusing on using our primary colors. So that would be your red, your blue, and your red, your yellow, and your blue. I went over the first step was to do those primaries. The second step was to do your secondaries. And the last step, the last two steps, are going to be tertiary and then adding value. So we're going to work on those last steps today. If we just finish doing make sure that you do not start anything until you really get those secondary colors done. And again, you are really always putting down that lighter color first and layering the darker color on top of it. Okay, so assuming now your secondary colors are complete, we are moving on to those tertiaries, which are the yellow orange, the red orange, the red violet, the blue green, and the yellow green. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing. In order to mix a yellow orange, if we look to the right and the left, we're going to be using yellow and red. Now let me show you the difference between yellow orange and red orange. You're going to look to what's in front of it. Okay? So yes, we are using red and yellow to do both of these sections. However, in this section, we're using more pressure on the yellow, less on the red. In this section, we're going to use more pressure on the red, but we're still applying the lighter color first. So let me show you the difference. This is where it gets a little confusing. So again, we're doing a lot of pressure for the yellow, and then we're going to add red, but very, very lightly. So you're going to want to really hold that on its side. Okay? So in other words, this yellow-orange is going to be between an orange and a yellow. It's a yellowish orange. Whereas the red-orange, we're going to put down the yellow again. But remember, because I have the red in front, I'm going to add more pressure on the red. So a reddish-orange is going to be in between the orange and the red. When we go to mix red-violet and blue-violet, we're using the red and blue, and we're still applying the red first. I just realized that my reds are a little different. I'm sorry. So I'm still applying the reds first, okay? But the difference is, for a red-violet, I'm doing more red. For a blue-violet, I'm doing more blue. So I'm going to press very lightly with my blue here. And here, I'm going to be pressing harder with that blue. So you're going to see it's going to be a really subtle difference, but it will be different. This will be a bluer version. This will be a true violet. This will be a bluer version of the violet. This will be a redder version. So you're looking at that prefix to see which one you're going to add more pressure. For a yellow-green and a blue-green, we're using the same two colors again. I'm going to be using more yellow here. The lighter color first. For a yellowish green, it's going to be more yellow than green. So I'm going to go very, very lightly. And for a bluish green, I'm going to add more pressure on the blue. So it will look like a green greenish, but it will be more bluer. So this will be more blue and this will be more yellow. This will be somewhat in the middle. So you're going to be doing those tertiary colors second to last. And then very last, we're going to add value. So how do you make a color darker? Well, there's two ways to do that. We can either add purple, okay? Purple is a cool color. It's a really nice way to make a color darker. Or we can add black, which is not a color, but it is a shade. So when you have completed everything, you're going to go back in, and somewhere in your design, you can use either the black, or you can use, you know, black, or you can use the purple, whichever you prefer. And I want you to just go in somewhere, whether it's on the sides or towards a center. And I want you to just very lightly, you're not doing this with a lot of pressure. You're just ever so lightly going on top of, and that will create a sense of value. It'll make it look like it has depth. It'll make it look like it is darker. So whenever we want to make a darker version of a color, we can add black, which is a shade. And you can do this in any way. I like to always kind of put it on the sides so it looks like it's more of a three-dimensional shape for each piece of my pie. So you can do this any way you want, but your last area is to add value. So you're gonna do your primaries, your yellows, your red, your blue, your secondary, your orange, your violet, and your green, always putting the lighter color first. And then when you go to do those tertiaries, again, look at those prefixes, okay? See which one requires you to add more pressure. At the very, very end, when you know that these are all completed, you no longer need your labels, you can cut out your mandala color wheel, and you will end up with one of these in colors that represent all the 12 colors of the color wheel. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.